know everything about managing your money? Think again. It's time we dive deep into the world of personal finance, a universe that's as fascinating as it is complex. A topic that, despite its importance, is often misunderstood and shrouded in mystery. A subject that, believe it or not, is rife with misconceptions. Picture this. You're in a boat in the middle of a vast ocean. Your destination is a distant shore called financial freedom. The waters are choppy, the wind's unpredictable. Your navigation tool? Knowledge. The more you know, the better you can steer your boat, navigate the rough seas, and ultimately reach your destination. Now imagine if that knowledge is flawed, if the maps you're using are inaccurate, if the compass you're relying on is misleading. That's the unfortunate reality for many people when it comes to managing their money. They're navigating the financial seas with faulty tools, guided by misconceptions and myths that can lead them astray. We're here to change that. We're here to challenge the status quo, to question the conventional wisdom, to debunk the myths that have somehow become accepted truths. We're here to arm you with the correct knowledge, the right tools, to help you navigate your way to financial freedom. You might be wondering, what could these myths possibly be? After all, isn't money management all about earning more, spending less, saving diligently, and investing wisely? Well, yes and no. While these principles are indeed essential, they're often misunderstood and misapplied, leading to financial decisions that do more harm than good. So what are these myths? What are these misconceptions that have somehow become ingrained in our collective consciousness? And more importantly, what's the truth? What's the reality that's beneath the surface, hidden by these misleading beliefs? So buckle up as we debunk 4 money management myths that you probably haven't heard. Myths that, once you understand them, will change the way you think about money management. Myths that, once debunked, will empower you to make better financial decisions, to navigate your way to financial freedom. First up, it's a myth that anyone can get out of debt, regardless of their income. This common belief is as widespread as it is misleading. Let's consider this fallacy, shall we? The truth of the matter is that the ability to get out of debt is heavily dependent on a person's annual income. Picture this. If a person's income is not substantial enough to cover their basic needs, let alone their debts, how can they realistically clear their financial obligations? It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. The reality is, the rare instances of individuals successfully climbing out of debt often involve those with a substantial yearly income. We're talking about individuals who net at least $250,000 after taxes. These success stories often involve people with no or very few dependents under the age of 18, no college debt, and a minimal amount of medical debt. Furthermore, their debt from credit cards, car loans, and home mortgages is modest at best. Let's be clear, we're not saying that it's impossible for someone earning less to get out of debt, but the odds are stacked against them, and it's certainly not as simple as some would have you believe. This myth paints an oversimplified picture of debt and how to overcome it. It implies that determination and willpower are all you need to conquer financial woes. But in reality, it's a numbers game. Without a substantial income, the path to a debt-free life becomes a steep uphill battle. So, what's the takeaway here? While determination is undoubtedly a crucial factor in managing one's finances and clearing debt, it's not the be-all and end-all solution. A solid income is, in fact, a key player in this game. So remember, getting out of debt isn't just about determination, it's also about the numbers. Another myth you might have heard is that saving for retirement is easy if you're earning over $50,000 a year. Or maybe you've heard that most people save enough with a 401k or Roth IRA. This is one of the most prevalent misconceptions out there. The idea that you can simply squirrel away a small portion of your paycheck each month and end up with a comfortable nest egg is, unfortunately, a pipe dream for many. The reality is, not everyone has the luxury of a disposable income that they can easily set aside for the future. For many individuals, covering the basic necessities such as rent, groceries, and utilities consumes the majority of their earnings. Then, there are unexpected expenses that can spring up out of nowhere, like a car repair or a medical bill. These unexpected costs can quickly eat into any savings you might have managed to accumulate. Moreover, the cost of living continues to rise, often outpacing wage growth. This means that even if you're earning a decent salary today, it might not stretch as far tomorrow. Plus, let's not forget about inflation. The money you put aside today will likely be worth less in the future. And then there's the question of how much is enough. How do you determine the right amount to save when you don't know how long you'll live, or what your health and living expenses might be in the future? It's a gamble, and not everyone is equipped to play. So, while it's true that having a steady income is a crucial factor in saving for retirement, it's not the only one. And it's certainly not as straightforward as it's often made out to be. It's important to have a comprehensive plan, which might include investing, diversifying your income streams, and seeking professional financial advice. In the end, saving for retirement requires more than just a consistent income. It requires foresight, planning, and a fair bit of luck. And it also requires at least a 9-figure income annually. You heard that right. Americans need a 9-figure income as a good start for a better chance for really being secure and maintaining financial freedom. It's a complex process that should be approached with care and consideration. So don't just rely on your current income for your retirement. It's not as simple as it seems. Myth number 3. Most tax-advantaged retirement plans let you save enough. This is a common belief, but let's take a closer look. Government-designed retirement plans are often hailed as the holy grail of retirement saving. The ones that are tax-advantaged, meaning they offer benefits that can help reduce the amount of tax you owe, are often hyped. Sounds fantastic, right? But here's the catch. These plans come with their own set of rules and restrictions. Firstly, there are limits to how much you can contribute to these plans each year. While these limits may seem generous, they may not be enough for those who started saving later in life, or for those who aspire to actually have enough in retirement. Next, let's talk about withdrawal restrictions. Yes, you heard it right. Your money isn't entirely yours until you reach a certain age. If you decide to withdraw your funds before you reach the age of 59 and a half, you may have to pay a penalty, not to mention the taxes. And don't forget about required minimum distributions, or RMDs. Once you hit the age of 72, the government requires you to start withdrawing a certain amount each year. But what if you don't need that money yet? Too bad. You have to take it out and pay taxes on it anyway. Now, this isn't to say that government retirement plans are bad. They can be an effective tool for retirement saving. However, it's essential to understand their limitations and to not rely solely on them for your retirement savings. Remember, it's your retirement we're talking about. You want to have enough to not only survive, but to enjoy your golden years. Consider other forms of saving and investing, like taxable accounts, real estate, or even starting a side business. So, there you have it. Myth number 3 debunked. Government-designed retirement plans can help, but they may not be the be-all and end-all solution for your retirement savings. Remember, not all plans are created equal. It's crucial to understand the limitations. The final myth: better personal budgeting and more modest spending are the keys to financial security. This is a popular belief that we often hear, but it's not as black and white as it seems. Let's dive into the myth. It suggests that if you just budget better, cut back on your lattes, and live a minimalist lifestyle, you'll be financially secure. But here's the catch. It's not that simple. Yes, budgeting is important, but it's not a magic solution. Imagine this. You've tightened your belt, you're living frugally, you've cut back on all but the essentials. But what if the essentials are still too much for your income to cover? You see, budgeting and minimalism don't increase your income. They simply help you manage what little income you have. And if you're like over 95% of Americans, then you're not earning enough to save for every type of emergency. And when you do have all of your emergency prep supplies, it requires at least 10,000 square feet of storage space. People actually need their own mansion, and at least a few acres of their own Tivit property, their own land. So the next time you see a person promoting a tiny house, be wary because it's extraordinarily unwise. Now, here's the other side of the coin. What happens in case of emergencies? Life is unpredictable and often expensive. What if your car breaks down or there's a medical emergency? These are real-life situations that require financial readiness. Living on a shoestring budget leaves little room for such unexpected expenses. Moreover, financial security is not just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about having enough to enjoy your life, to pursue hobbies, to travel, to invest in yourself and your future. Living minimally might not provide enough for these aspects of life. So what's the solution? It's about balance. Yes, budgeting and spending less can help, but they are just one small part of the equation. Significantly increasing your income, whether through a side hustle, investing, or advancing in your career, is just as critical. The myth of success through minimalism paints a picture that financial security is simply a matter of cutting back and living minimally. But the truth is, financial security is a complex dance involving multiple factors. It's about budgeting and spending wisely, but also about earning more and preparing for life's unpredictability. So, living right might be expensive, but living wrong can cost you even more. So, we've debunked 4 money management myths today. Myth 1, the belief that anyone can crawl out of debt, no matter their income, has been laid bare. In reality, a substantial annual income, coupled with a minimal burden of obligations, is the secret recipe for debt emancipation. Those rare cases of individuals escaping the clutches of debt are often people with an annual post-tax income of at least $250,000 in InVome net, few or no children under 18, negligible college or medical debt, and only a modest amount of credit card, auto, and mortgage debt. The second myth we've shattered is the notion that saving for retirement is a breeze, even with a meager income. The reality, as we've seen, is much less rosy. Our third myth, the idea that government tax-advantaged retirement plans are a panacea for all retirement woes, has also been debunked. In truth, many such plans are riddled with illogical funding limits and withdrawal restrictions that make them less than ideal. And finally, we've unveiled the truth behind myth 4, the belief that better personal budgeting and more modest spending can fix all financial problems. The reality? Personal budgeting and minimalism don't solve it. To truly thrive, we need a healthy supply of resources, preparedness for emergencies, and a substantial income. Living right might be expensive, but trying to squeeze by with only minimal spending and an insufficient income makes financial security an impossible dream. By debunking these myths, we hope to have shed some light on the realities of money management. It's not about quick fixes or one-size-fits-all solutions. It's about understanding your own financial situation, making informed decisions, and maintaining a realistic perspective. So ask yourself, what else do you know about budgeting and financial myths? Remember, knowledge is power.